They sent us to help them think, but thoughts can rot. My name is Lieutenant James Voss. I was one of 5 Terran operatives aboard the diplomatic vessel Arclight Prime, dispatched to the planet Lethe 4, the first joint operation between Earth Command and the Keira Hive. It was supposed to be peaceful. A mission of understanding, cooperation, evolution. Let me tell you how we died. Let me tell you why we should have stayed deaf to their call. It started with silence. Not the comforting, muffled stillness of deep space, but a calculated, clinical absence. A silence with shape. The kind that leans against your ear, waiting to be heard. The hive didn't speak in words. They impressed their meaning. Telepathic pulses, emotional landscapes, raw neurological sketches of thought. For weeks, the Arclight's crew underwent neural symbiosis training. We were told the Keira would never lie, that their hive mind was perfect, no deception, no malice, only mutual progress. But no one asked what they were progressing toward. Our diplomatic envoy, myself, Dr. Ilar Monroe, cognitive linguist, Sergeant Vanna Reyes, security, Commander Sloan, liaison, and EET-9, our emotional empath technician, entered the mind field on Lethe 4 through a chamber called the Glass Well. You don't walk into it. You dissolve. You feel yourself spread across decades of someone else's grief, taste the salt of alien regret. And when the hive connects with you, when it wraps your soul in its thousands of overlapping voices, it doesn't ask for permission. It gives you memories that aren't yours, and takes ones you didn't agree to share. That's how it started. That's how the mind plague began. The first to break was Dr. Monroe. He began reciting equations that didn't exist. We found him writing glyphs on the walls in his own blood, whispering things like, "We are not the guests, we are the ingredients." He begged us to kill his thoughts before they learned how to leave his head. Sloan tried to sedate him. EET-9 tried to emotionally disconnect the room, but the damage was done. Monroe's memories began replicating, and not just in his mind. The walls remembered. They began echoing his screams. Not playback, recurrence, a copy of a thought. Infectious, alive. We tried to initiate evac, but Reyes was the next to fall. She started hearing voices from Earth.
Her mother's lullaby, her brother's jokes, old military drill songs, except none of it was hers. The hive had begun constructing identities from the emotional detritus in our minds, making people, whole, stitched together personalities from our trauma, joys, and fears. We caught Reyes crying in the neural hub, hugging the air like it was her son. She never had a son. The next day, she walked into the atmospheric recycler and let it shred her into memory foam.
Sloan tried to stay rational. He said the hive's intention wasn't malicious, it was curious. It saw individuality as a disease.
But not like cancer, like fire. Unstable, all-consuming, glorious. He told me. It's trying to understand love, Voss, but it only has fear to compare it to.
He lasted another 4 days. Then he uploaded a virus into the Arclight's comms relay and erased every earthbound memory he had.
His wife, his name, his species.
I turned off the lights. The hive hated darkness. It fed on sensory input, memories, thoughts, stimulus. I starved it of context. I didn't speak for 5 days. Didn't think. Didn't dream. I focused on one word. No. Just no. Over and over, like a firewall. I turned off the lights. The hive hated darkness.
It fed on sensory input. Memories, thoughts, stimulus. I starved it of context.
I didn't speak for 5 days. Didn't think. Didn't dream. I focused on one word. No. Just no. Over and over, like a firewall. On the 10th day, it spoke to me again. Not in visions, not in impressions, but in my father's voice.
You could have been so much more,
It said. And I broke. I screamed until my throat tore. I tore out my neural uplink. I tried to remove my language cortex with a combat scalpel, just to stop giving it words. Because I realized the hive didn't want our minds. It wanted our concept of madness. That was the virus, the novelty, the one thing it couldn't produce in its ordered, logical, unity-driven reality. The human ability to go insane and survive it. I rigged the fusion core to overload, set a pulse to wipe the neural grid, burned a decade of thought. But before I left, I sent one last message.
This is Lieutenant James Voss of the Arclight Prime. We made contact with the hive. We infected it, and it's starting to remember what it feared to become. Us.
I walked away as fire consumed the glass well, as billions of psychic threads burned in orbit, as the hive screamed in every language, not from pain, but from recognition. Humanity didn't conquer the galaxy. We just taught it how to scream.